Hello again, Lecturer Joe here. In this video we're going to look at a basic transistor and see how it behaves in a circuit. So in order to drop on a transistor, we can go up to Draw, then into Active Components, and then come down to Add Transistor. And you'll see here there are two types, NPN and PNP. NPN is by far the most common, and you can see the shortcut for that is a small n, so we don't actually need to use that tool. We can just press N on the keyboard as a shortcut and drag from left to right to draw on transistors. So just draw on one, press your N key, draw on a single transistor, dragging from left to right, and position it around about the middle of the screen. Let's drop on a voltage source, so press V and drag up a DC voltage source. We want to also place on a bulb, a lamp. I don't think there's a shortcut for that, so you will have to go into Draw, Outputs and Labels, and then Add Lamp. So it's Draw, Outputs and Labels, and then Add Lamp. And you can draw on a lamp there. It's pointing the wrong way, not that it matters, but I like it pointing the other way, so output, lamp, there we go. And you can drag it down to join to the top of your transistor. I'm going to put a wire, so W, shortcut for wire, remember, here and here, and a wire here to complete the circuit. And as soon as I complete the circuit, you might expect to see a flow of electricity around here, but you don't. So I'm going to hit Escape to get rid of the crosshair here and get back to pointy mode. So there's no flow of current here. You can see the yellow dots are stationary. And that's because the transistor will only let current flow through it from top to bottom if there's a tiny flow of current into this third connection that we haven't fed any current into yet. So at the minute there's nothing flowing in here. Now the three connections, if you hover over your transistor, you'll see the headings or the initials B, C, E. And these stand for base, collector, and emitter. So the three legs on this transistor are base, collector, and emitter. Collector at the top, emitter at the bottom, and base at the left-hand side. So the electrical current wants to flow from the top, the collector, through the transistor and out the emitter. But no current can flow unless we also have a small current flowing in here. So this is really the channel that we use to control how much current can flow from top to bottom, from collector to emitter. So to get it going, I'm going to put a small, first we'll set up the voltages here. So let me see, what's a sensible voltage for the battery? Let's set that to 12 volts. And the lamp we'll set to 10 watts and 12 volts. And this little figure at the bottom is just really for the animation purpose, how long it takes the lamp to warm up and glow. So set those both to 10 milliseconds. They're not critical, but it just operates a little bit better if we reduce those down. So nominal power 10 watts, nominal voltage 12 volts, and OK that. Your battery's at 12 volts, there's no setting for anything within the transistor. So we're going to add a resistor now. So press R on your keyboard and we'll add a resistor. And before I join it, I'll hit Escape and change the value to 10K, 10,000 ohms. Now it should be the case now that as soon as I join this, we'll get a very small flow of current through we'll get a very small flow of current flowing from the battery through the resistor into the gate and out the emitter and back to the battery again. So there'll be a small flow of current here, and that will allow a much larger flow of current to flow through the transistor itself and round. So let's see whether that works as soon as I join this. There we go. So we can see the path marked in red here is a tiny flow of current. See how slow the dots are moving here? And we've got a 10,000 ohm resistor, so the actual flow here is going to be very small indeed. But that small flow is enough to turn on, if you like, the transistor and allow a much larger flow from top to bottom. And that essentially is the principle of a transistor. A very small electrical current flow into the into the base here will allow a large current flow down through the transistor. It effectively turns on the transistor.